Hey guys, it's Allie Gildart, and I wanted to do a little video for you to show you how I do meal planning and how I use the container system and how I kind of divvy out my containers throughout the day. Because what I'm hearing from a lot of people is that they get how the containers work and they get how portion control works, but trying to figure out when to eat this and when to eat that is leaving people at the end of the day scrambling to eat enough vegetables or finding that they've already gone through all their protein and now they don't know what to eat. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to spread out all of your macros throughout the day ahead of time so that you don't have to do it day by day. It takes a lot less time this way. You're going to spend a little more time at the beginning of the week like I did. And then I'm going to show you a couple different ways to implement this according to how works best with your lifestyle. So first I just wanted to share with you all of the Beachbody programs that we have. All the workout programs come with a eating plan. I like that it's called an eating plan instead of a diet plan because we like to eat and we like to fuel ourselves with the right foods. And all of the newer programs come with this container system. It's a portion control system. I should have brought the containers in here with me, but there's little containers according to vegetables or proteins or fruits. And what it does is it gives you a certain amount to eat throughout the day. And that way you don't have to count calories, you don't have to weigh food, you don't have to measure anything. You just use these containers. It's super easy. So right now I'm doing quarter force. I'm on day 4. And in these eating plans, you're going to get a little chart. And it's going to very simple little calculation using your starting weight, and it tells you which of one of 4 plans you're going to fall into. So I fall into plan C, and what that means for plan C, and on this, so you'll get a little chart in the next thing. What it means for plan C is that every day I get 5 servings of vegetables, I get 3 servings of fruits, 5 servings of proteins, 4 servings of carbs, 1 healthy fat, 1 seeds and dressings, and 5 teaspoons, which are oils and nut butters. So you can look at this and all of a sudden go, well, that's great, but how am I going to implement this? How am I 5 greens? I'm going to eat them all at one time. Like, people get really caught up on this and really overwhelmed. And that's where this video is going to come in. So I'm going to share this in the picture below, but I made my meal plan for the week. It took me about an hour on Sunday, and then it took me another like half hour to make it pretty. But on it, I have everything that I'm eating for the week and my container systems. So I'm going to put a picture of that in the comments below, but I'm going to show you how I went about doing it. And I think this might be backwards for you guys. I hope it's not, but even if it is, it's still going to work the same way. So what I did was I eat 6 times a day. And my mother actually asked me, if you eat 6 times a day, how do you lose weight? Because you're eating the same amount of food as somebody who's going to be eating 3 meals a day, you're just spreading it out more. It's not like I'm eating more food than someone who eats 3 times a day. I'm eating 6 times a day. I'm just eating smaller amounts and I'm portioning it out throughout the day. So what I do is, along the top here, you'll see these little letters. So it's green for vegetables, P, purple. These are for the container systems, but you can use it for anything. P is purple for fruit, R is red for protein, Y is yellow for carbs, B is blue for healthy fats, O is orange for seeds and dressings, and then my teaspoons. And on the bottom here, I have little hash marks of how many I'm allowed per day. So what I do is I take a look at the first column and I say greens, vegetables. I am terrible at eating my vegetables. I could eat protein and fruit all day long. So I know that I need to find a good way to get my greens in. The likelihood of me eating a bunch of vegetables for breakfast or my first snack is not happening. So I know for me, I'm going to portion out those greens between lunch and dinner. So right now, I'm going to take, for meal 3, which is my lunch, I'm going to put 3 hash marks for green. And then I'm going to cross out 3 hash marks on the bottom. So now I know I've already used 3 greens. So now my other 2 greens are going to be used for dinner. So I know that I can always throw vegetables in for dinner. Broccoli, spinach, anything. Those are really easy. So 2. So right there, my greens already done. I know for lunch and for dinner I'm going to be eating greens. So fruits. Fruits are pretty easy to portion out throughout the day. I get 3 of them. I always have 1 for breakfast. I have usually 1 for a later snack, so that's meal 5. And then I'll have 1, actually, I'm sorry, meal 5 is dinner. I'm going to move my little hash marks from yesterday, from greens. So then I have 1 fruit for breakfast. I have 1 fruit for my late night snack, and I say late night just means after dinner because I need something sweet. And instead of reaching for chocolate or ice cream, I'm going to have a fruit. And I'll probably throw in a fruit for my afternoon snack as well. Boom, 3. Those are done. Proteins. So for proteins, I know once a day I'm going to have my Shakeology. That's 1 protein. And even though it's a full meal replacement and it has all these other vegetables and fruits and everything in it, they count it as a protein because it does have protein in it and because they know it's harder for people to get in their fruits and vegetables. So I know that I work out mid-morning and that I like to have my Shakeology as a recovery shake. So, boom, meal number 2, there's my red. I also know for lunch I'm going to have 1 or 2 actually. Usually I'll have a salad. 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So far I've used 3. I need 2 more. I'll have 1 for my snack and 1 for my dinner. So that's done. So I'm not going to go through the entire thing because I think you can get the idea. What I'm doing is saying, I know I get 4 carbs a day. And I know for breakfast, I would like to have carbs because that means that I have sustained energy for my workouts and for throughout the day. And then I'll usually save 2 of my carbs for night. So I haven't even talked about what I'm going to be eating for these foods yet. I'm just putting into place where they're going to be. Because now, if I have this all laid out for the day, and you can see it probably better in the meal plan, I have here oatmeal with blueberries. I have 2 yellows and a fruit. So I have it all laid out. And the nice thing about this is you can use this system and you can say, okay, every day I'm going to have my carbs at breakfast and at dinner. And every day I'm going to have my fruits at these times a day. But you don't have to nail down what those particular foods are. And that's where a well-stocked kitchen comes into play. So if you go out shopping and you get a ton of really good, clean food that you enjoy eating, and it's in your kitchen, you can look at this list and say, okay, well, let's see. I know for lunch, I'm going to need to eat 3 greens and 2 reds. That's 3 servings of vegetables and 2 proteins. So I'm going to make, let's see, what can I make with 3 greens and 2 reds? I can make a chicken salad. And then I can also use my orange for my dressing. Boom, that's done. And I didn't have to go and make a recipe and look for recipes and do all this kind of stuff. I just knew for that meal that I'm going to be eating 3 greens and 2 reds. And then I look and I see, what do I have stocked in my fantastically stocked kitchen that's going to fit into this? So that's one way to go about it, is to put your containers in place and then have food every day and just kind of go with what you're feeling at the moment. For instance, the other day I ran out of cottage cheese. On my meal plan here, I had cottage cheese and celery with peanut butter. So I said, oh, I can't do, oh no, I had cottage cheese and fruit. I'm sorry. Cottage cheese and applesauce was on my meal plan. And I realized I didn't have enough cottage cheese for the protein serving that was going to be. So I swapped out yogurt with fruit. Yogurt's the same. It's a protein, counted as the same exact way as a cottage cheese is. But I was able to swap it out easily without having to think about it, without having to think about the calories and all this kind of stuff, because I knew at that time, because I have it here on my plan, that time is a protein and a fruit time. So all I had to do, I could have eaten chicken and fruit. I mean, I could have eaten anything that was within those container systems. So that's the way I tend to do it. I do tend to make some kind of a guideline, or, you know, I have a meal plan like this because I like to be able to know, you know, like at dinner, or I feel like if I know I'm going to be somewhere late one night, I like to have a dinner plan for that night ahead of time. So I do recommend at least having some meals that you know that you can kind of go to and you don't even have to think about. Like for me, every morning it's oatmeal and fruit. And for my recovery after my workout, it's always Shakeology. So I just fit into things after that. And I know the kinds of things that I tend to like. I do eat a lot of the same foods every day. So I love cottage cheese and fruit. I love yogurt and fruit. Those are like my go-to snacks. I love chicken salad. So those do tend to be the ones that I go to, but I enjoy eating those every single day, and that makes my meal planning that much easier because I know Monday through Friday, if I have the same thing, you know, I don't have to go and look and see, oh, if I eat this at this time, what am I going to eat for dinner tonight? I just know at dinner tonight, I'm going to need a protein and a vegetable and 2 carbs, whatever that might be, whatever that combination might be. You know, I go and look in my book, and in the book here, it has all these foods listed and these great little, you know, all your fruits, all your proteins. And all I do is I go down and go, I need a vegetable. What vegetables are on my list? I can have kale. I can have broccoli. I don't have kale. I can have broccoli. I can have squash, you know, and I look in my kitchen and I go, well, I bought all these things at the beginning of the week. I bought all the vegetables I like. I bought all the fruit I like, and I just put them together. So that's really the key. So you can do it like that, or you can go completely hardcore and plan out every single meal using this system or using and calculating and everything. And then even if you do this, and because I do this and life happens, I have 2 kids, I'm a busy mom, something always comes up where I go, oh, I was planning on making that for dinner, but this happened and I didn't have time. So then I can still look and say, well, this is what I was planning for dinner. Instead, I'm going to make this. It still follows the same guidelines, and so it still works. So taking an hour out of my day on Sunday and going through, and honestly, I do this like once, and then I'm set. All I have to do is plug in the foods. So every single week, if I go through and I go, for every single day for lunch, I'm going to have 3 greens. I'm going to have 2 reds. I already know pretty much what I'm going to have. So if you do it and take a little bit of time in the beginning, all of a sudden your entire week opens up. Your entire week gets easier. All the meal planning and everything like that, it immediately is like a weight lifted because you know it's all laid out for you, and all you have to do is plug in those foods. You don't need complicated recipes. You don't need crazy meals that are like these intricate, amazing, like just eat the food. Just eat the real food. Eat it in these portions, and I swear you're going to feel so much better. And I got to tell you, like all the stress of my making dinner and getting things for snacks and making lunches, I don't even have to think about it. I literally walk over to my refrigerator and I go, oh, okay, I'm going to have cottage cheese and applesauce today, and tonight we're having stew. I mean, it's that easy. I just walk over, look, I eat, and I get back to my business. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was clear. I tried to make it pretty clear. I know kind of in a chart situation, it's a little confusing sometimes, but really all I did was take each category of food and portion it out throughout the day that makes sense to me. Again, 5 greens means 3 greens at lunch and 2 greens at dinner every single day. So now I don't have to wake up and go, when am I going to get that green in? When am I going to do this? It's already put in there for me, and all I have to do is eat. So I hope that was helpful. I am going to put a picture of my weekly meal plan in the comments. If you have any questions about any of this, if you want me to clarify anything, let me know. If you have questions about the container systems, or if you have questions about meal planning or portion control or any of that, definitely let me know. I would love to hear from you guys. And let me know if this was helpful or if it was completely confusing, or if there are any kind of videos that you guys want me to do in the future, and I would be happy to help you out. And say hi to Tom. Woo! Bye!